Good morning. Welcome to your Friday morning, early morning intuitive guidance. The hair's already doing the humidity thing today. By the end of the day, it will look like a fright wig. So, yeah, it'll be lovely. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, America's kick-ass coach and psychologist. Here with some words of wisdom to get us rolling. And I'm laughing because out of the corner of my eye, I caught a pop-up on my computer screen, which I'm using for backlighting because it's kind of dark in here early in the morning. And it popped up that I'm live because I'm on Facebook on the computer screen. Interesting. So, welcome to whomever just popped in. Glad you are here. We have a great card today. I'm really excited about this one. Relatively new deck. I think we've only had one or two cards from it in the past. Priestess of Light by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Weber. And I think this probably has to be a Hay House deck if I had to guess. Yep, it is a Hay House deck. They have awesome cards, absolutely awesome cards. So, our card for today, relevant, very relevant. Go with the flow. Good morning, Holly. Glad you're here. Go with the flow. The words that go along with it are letting go, cleansing, and receiving. And I'm going to show you the card as I'm reading the first part because it talks about the description of her. Go with the flow. Letting go, cleansing, receiving. This priestess of the waterfall rises from the foam, holding the mists of the water spirits close to her heart. She wears a golden spiral of infinity on her headdress, symbolizing the power of purification and the release of negativity. When this card shows up in your spread, and we only pick one card a day, but sometimes people lay out three or a variety of different kinds of spreads, it announces a time of quiet energy, encouraging you to release resistance and go with the flow. So much easier said than done, right? True release requires a conscious intention to let go of control and embrace the cleansing energy of non-attachment. I like that word non-attachment because, as I've said repeatedly, our subconscious mind, 95% of our consciousness, doesn't understand negation. So when we say, I'm letting go of control, we're still referencing control, right? If we say non-attachment, there's still that reference thing there. But good morning, Bonnie. Glad you're here. But for me, that word at least has less connotations around the whole idea of hanging on tight, right? So see what you can find for a word that works for you in terms of the state of freedom, that not invested in anything, kind of a going with the flow. That might be your statement, going with the flow. I like non-attachment. It's time to step back and reevaluate things. Take a break from trying to force your will. And the thing with that is, we've been so highly trained up to do that, to make stuff happen, that we don't even realize we're doing it. Sometimes we're well down that road of trying to jam the square peg in the round hole before we realize, okay, there I go again, time to back off, time to open the hand and release. Open your heart to the guidance of the Spirit flowing within and around you. This doesn't mean you should take no action. It means your action should flow with your intuition. So, guided by your intuition, you make choices. Listening within, you make choices. Checking in with your heart and soul, you make choices. It's a whole different perspective than what your mind is going to tell you. And again, I want to repeat that concept that we had a while ago, that your mind is meant to be in service of your heart and soul. Heart and soul lead the way. Mind is the footman that follows suit, that executes things, all right? Not the mind running the show and the heart and soul being relegated to the closet, okay? Water is an important element in your life experience. It brings clarity and understanding and represents the presence of spirit. You are a body of water, as is this blue planet of ours. On that level, you resonate with Earth and every entity on it. Good morning, Donine. Glad you are here. So charge the water you drink with love and affirm Spirit's presence in the rain, in the shower, and in all the water around you. And for those of us who are in the Great Lakes district, we have a whole lot of water around us. One of the things that I love to do is, as I'm driving past water, whether it's Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, Lake Winnebago, any of them, send them energy. And there's a water song that my friend Flo, who's 78 years young, dyslexia there, taught many of the women. The women historically in Anishinaabe tradition are the keepers of the water, and the men are the keepers of the fire. So there's a water song that women sing, and the woman who had it downloaded to her requested that it not be shared on video, that it not be put on social media. Others have done so, but I honor that. So I'll just tell you 2 words, which even if you held up your hand as you went past and said those words, it would be sending the message to the water that we love the water, we respect the water, we appreciate the water. Nabi Wabo. Nabi Wabo. And if you just even hold your hand out and send good energy to the water, that's very powerful. Many people like to sit by the water and allow that to cleanse them. We can serve the water back by sending good energy. This cleansing intention purifies your energy and releases limitation and negativity. Man, that's a huge thing we've been working on in the Clearing Your Clutter. It's actually called Lightening Your Load class. And last night we did a really cool exercise. I'm just going to share it with you, and you can play with it if you want to. It's basically a little guided imagery. Have you close your eyes. Imagine that you're standing in front of a magic ATM, and it says on there, you get free money. So we start with $10. You punch in $10, you hit the button, it lands in your hand. How do you feel? You punch in $100, it lands in your hand. How do you feel? 1,000, 10,000, a million, a billion, etc. And what we found, which is usually what I find when I do that exercise with people, is people hit an upper limit. So one woman said, when I got to 500,000, the machine jammed and wouldn't give any more money out. That's her subconscious mind operating. An unintentional ceiling. The way I was taught, it's an upper limit problem. You self-impose this limit that you can't go past. There's where the healing work needs to happen. So we did a bunch of tapping around freeing up those self-imposed limits, those ceilings on what we feel like we can have monetarily. That can also be in all other areas of life: relationships, home ownership, a job, writing a book, whatever it is, having a child. All of those things, we can create our own upper limit problems without even realizing it. So it's kind of an interesting little exercise. So anyway, this cleansing intention purifies your energy and releases limitation and negativity. Such a clear and vibrant resonance then opens your life to the unlimited flow of abundance available to you. Let go and receive. We need to believe that we're worthy of receiving, that we don't have to do anything to earn this. I mean, there are people that when I do that magic ATM thing with them, $10 feels uncomfortable because they don't feel like they did anything to earn it. That's a whole mindset. That's a whole mindset that needs to be addressed. Let go and receive, for the river of endless opportunity is coming your way. When you're caught in the limitation, you don't even see the opportunities that are right before your eyes. They're there. They're already there. We have to clear the lenses so that you can see those opportunities, believe you're worthy of them. You don't have to do anything to earn them, and accept them. Accept them. It's also very interesting to note with this exercise that the vast majority of women who do this exercise, when they get to a certain level, automatically begin giving money away. Giving lots of money away. And I don't know if any of you know this, but J.K. Rowling is the first billionaire who ever knocked herself out of billionaire status by giving money away. Not that that's a bad thing, I just think it's interesting to note it was a woman. Affirmation: I move comfortably through the experiences of my life. I release resistance and align myself with the joyous energy flowing freely through the world. Good morning, Linda. Doesn't that feel good to think about it that way? I move comfortably through the experiences of my life. I'm going to add on there, even the difficult and painful ones. I release resistance and align myself with the joyous energy flowing freely through the world. And I was reading more in my Wayne Dyer I Can See Clearly Now book last night, and I had heard about this woman from Reed Tracy, who is the president of Hay House, and I participate in the Hay House Writers Workshops often, and he has talked about this woman. Her first name is Immaculée, and she's from Africa, and she was one of the few surviving Suis from the 1994 massacre. It was tribal factions pitted against each other and went on a killing spree and pretty much wiped out the one whole tribe. She and seven other women lived for a huge amount of time. I can't remember how many days, 45, 60, 90, whatever it was, days in a bathroom. She ended up weighing 65 pounds by the time they were released from that bathroom. And the energy that Wayne Dyer talked about, the energy that she put forth, this beautiful, loving, glowing energy, the go with the flow energy, she could even send that toward the assailants who wiped out her tribe, pretty much. She wrote a book. He wrote the foreword to the book, and I think it's called something called Left to Tell, meaning she was one of the few left to tell the story of this genocide. But again, that beautiful, loving energy in a human being who's been through so much. Good morning, Judy. Glad you're here. So I love the spiral in her headdress. Infinity. Everything goes on. Everything goes on. It may change form. We may change form, but the spirit continues. So your mission for today is to practice catching when you're hanging on to something. I need to get there faster. He needs to say yes to this. This outcome needs to happen. Let that all go. Turn that all over. I've done what I can do. I'm letting this go. Let's see how it turns out, and see how fully you can allow yourself to go with the flow, with the divine unfolding, rather than trying to dictate outcomes. Let's play around with it, see what you get. I'd love to get some comments in the feed about that, what your experience was like. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.